This is your homegirl, Arabia Barbosa, with the Canyon. Yo, this is my question. Yo tengo una pregunta para ti. For those of you that are people that work with people every day, whether you be nurses, whether you be doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists, social social workers, whatever the case may be. What is trauma? What is trauma and how far can trauma lead a person? Because a lot of people grow up in homes where there's a lot of issues going on. It might be child abuse, it might be incest, it might be other forms of abuse. There's a cult leader, cult leader. I believe her name is Anna Young. She was over a cult during the 80s and 90s. And she was found guilty of murdering children that was a part of her religious cult organization. And I'm trying to figure out in my mind, why would a grown woman that has children go into a religious setting and allow your children to be killed or beaten, mistreated, mishandled, misguided? I don't mean no harm, but a lot of women need to keep their legs closed and not have any children. See, in a few more years, the government is going to decide, or the states that you live in is going to decide who can have children and who cannot. They're going to decide. They're going to make their decisions in a few more years. Who should have children and who should not. That's why I'm so glad. As a child, I decided at the age of 9 years old not to have children. Not to born anybody into this world that don't belong here. We got enough problems going on. But my mother, my biological mother, was not as smart. Her mother was not as smart. My father's mother was not smart at all. Why would you have children? Bore them into the fucking world knowing what kind of issues and problems they were going to be faced with. And in the Black community, we are faced with a lot of issues and a lot of problems. Our problem solvers is not the school. The problem solvers for the Black community is not religion. It's not. Unless you want to join up with the Nation of Islam. Black people in this country, if they want to join any kind of religious organization that might have your best interests at heart, would be the Nation of Islam. Because in there, they teach you how to take care of yourself, your family situation, your family, and they allow the children to practice self-defense. They train the children in certain countries all over the world, especially in Japan and China and other different Asian countries that are, across the world. They train their children how to defend themselves. Self-defense classes are mandatory over there. Self-defense classes need to be mandatory in America. All children need to be trained on how to defend themselves physically against certain attacks. I believe in that. I believe and I push for it, and I would support that. All children need to be trained in some kind of self-defense, martial arts. I don't care if it's karate. I don't care if it's any art in kung fu. I don't care if it's 52 blocks. In the house I grew up in New York, they didn't want us to know anything about self-defense. I went to school in New York. There were certain people in the neighborhood said everyone needs to learn how to defend themselves. As a child, I went to school with young men that were learning the 52 blocks. And they used to show me their moves. And they were training me to do that, because they wanted me to defend myself if I was ever in a situation. But the home I grew up in, they didn't want me to learn any kind of self-defense. They discouraged it. Why? That's when I knew these people didn't give a fuck about me. Only thing they gave a fuck about was the money they was getting from the state, or certain benefits they were getting from the fucking government by having me and my brother in that house. And we was raised with other children. They became my siblings. As grown people, we all know who we are. My mother, the woman that raised me, she ended up passing away in 2019. And she left a messy will. It was messy. She was messy. She didn't want peace in that house. She wanted a lot of disruption and chaos. She lived to see drama being played out in her own home. There was plenty of arguments that happened there. There was plenty of fighting that happened there. And there was plenty of other things that happened in that house years ago. That's why when I decided at 9 years old, I was never going to have any children. I never wanted to have children. I never wanted to have kids. Not at all. Why? Why would I bring other people here that is going to suffer or go through certain situations? I'm 51 years old now. If I would have had any children, it would have been one. And that person would probably be in their 30s by now, late 20s. They would always come over here and check on their mother that loves to smoke her cigarettes and drink beers and drink spirits. They would have had to grow up with that. Me being a full-fledged alcoholic, they would have had to grow up with that. Would it have been right for me to raise my children to be around me? I decided at the age of 9 not to have any children because of what happened to me when I was young. I look at the Michelle Blair story and I cry. I cry for those children that she murdered. We got Susan Smith in the fucking penitentiary. She killed 2 of her children. She got 2 life sentences. She might never make parole. She might make parole one day. There's a possibility that a child killer will be released onto the street. I don't care how old she is. She got the taste of blood in her fucking mouth. Shout out to the chat. Hey, Crystal. Crystal, you always come in. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. DJ Cleveland, thank you for coming in. But I just want to talk about this. What is trauma? How do we get past it? We look at the government. We look at what's going on in the real world. I live across a street. I live in an apartment, and across the street, they emptied all the apartments. They're painting them over. They're getting ready to move people in here that I have no knowledge of. Thank God I've been training myself how to speak Swahili and Spanish. I've been training myself for a long time. This is my time to practice what I preach, or to live like the way I knew I was going to always have to live. I lived this when I was in New York. You had to learn certain Spanish terms in order to even get around certain situations. I've been teaching myself Swahili. Someone said to me the other day, well, Arabia, maybe you need to learn Mandarin or Cantonese. Those are Chinese dialects of language. I might have to learn it. I have no problem. I'm 51 years old. I have no problem trying to learn different languages or trying to learn how to live with people. But it's coming to a point where I'm going to become a recluse. I'm going to want to separate myself, live like the way I want to live, be, isolated in my own world. I don't want to live with other people too much. I got one neighbor, live right across the street. The neighborhood I live in, everybody knows, well, Arabia doesn't mix up. Arabia loves to go to work. Arabia loves to make her money. Arabia loves to go to the store. Arabia will buy her beers. Arabia will buy her cigarettes. Arabia will buy her little items of food. I don't care if it's rice. I don't care if it's noodles. I don't care if it's spaghetti. I don't care if it's bacon. I don't care if it's hamburger meat. I don't care. I don't care if it's any kind of fish. Chicken dishes. Chicken. I like to buy chicken a lot. I like to cook for myself. Now, the other night, unfortunately for me, I got so drunk. I put some food in the oven and let it cook. I'm sitting in here, sleep, and I forgot. I had to go out there, take the pot out of the goddamn oven, turn the oven off. See, this is time, this is usually the time I like to have a girlfriend or a boyfriend over, and they would take care of that. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen because I have no desire to find anyone or for anyone to find me. There is no desire. My sexual desires died a long time ago. Even though I was dating someone at a certain time while I was here in this apartment, me and that person are no longer together. We have separated. We have decided to go our separate ways. Shout out to the chat. I will never be perfect. Not at all. I will always be who I am. And may God help me and the rest of the country because we're getting ready to go through a turbulent time. We're getting ready to go there. Some of us, we have the knowledge how to grow our own food. Shout out to Farmer Nancy. Shout out to Sister T for teaching us how to grow our own food, how to make our own gardens, how not to get lazy and continue to help yourself. Shout out to Farmer Nancy. She taught me a lot on her channel where she was growing food and she had a farm and she's doing her thing. Shout out to her every day, all day. Sister T, she does the same thing. Shout out to Sister T for teaching us how to grow your own food and how to stockpile your own house with things you need. Not things you want, things you need. Especially if a storm is coming or any kind of disaster is coming. So I'm thankful for Sister T. I'm thankful for her. She might go over, and other people chat. She's not bothering nobody. That's why I can't understand why people want to constantly fuck with her. Leave her alone. You don't like her, don't watch her. There's a lot of stuff I have learned from Sister T. Thank God for Sister T. Brown Skin Lady. I want to send a shout out to Brown Skin Lady. Shout out to Brown Skin Lady for being who she is, for being as strong as she is. Brown Skin Lady, you don't know how much I love and respect you. You don't know. You really don't. Selena, I love and respect you. You will never know how I feel about you. Never. Because you don't ask. But I told you the other night, stop beating up on yourself. You are human just like everyone else. I don't care if you sit in the church 24/7, Selena. You did nothing wrong. You are human just like everyone else is human on this app. Everyone. I look at Riders for Life. Young woman from Philadelphia. Shout out to her for doing her videos. Shout out to Destiny for doing her videos. Shout out to Free Thinkers. Shout out to Vince the Sniper. Shout out to Ronald Jones for being a troll here. That's all Ronald Jones do nowadays. He like to troll people. But I'm going to tell you something about Ronald Jones. At least he speak up. If he sees something that's wrong, Ronald Jones is going to fucking speak the fuck up. Shout out to Sans Rabbit Got a Wrench for over there doing his videos. Everybody might not agree with him. It might not see eye to eye with him, but at least he had enough nerve, enough courage to try to start his own shit on this app. Shout out to Sis Rabbit Got a Wrench. Shout out to Empress Lonnie One Love for doing her videos. I don't care how drunk Lonnie get. I don't care what Lonnie talk about. I don't care where Lonnie go. Her birthday is going to come up. Happy birthday to the Empress Lonnie One Love. Shout out to you. Oh yeah, there's a lot of people on this app I'm grateful for. At the end of the day, I don't care if I got a beef with you. I don't care if I agree with you. I thank God for each and every last one of you YouTube creators, even Kwame Brown and that Garrick and them losers over there. Because I learned something from everyone. I'm the Jeeba Creeper on this shit. Remember that. That means I learned from you. I might not be in your chat. I might not watch your videos, but other people share your videos. Other people share what you talk about. As the Jeeba Creeper, the only job I got to do is to go in and eat. And whatever it fits me, I keep it and spit out the bones. I eat what I can eat, what I can use, and I spit out the bones. What I cannot use, what I do not need, gets thrown away. Shout out to the chat. I'm not going to be up here that long. Just want to come in and say good morning to everyone and tell why I'm on this YouTube app. But I really want to get my message out about the child abuse that's going on, the kidnapping of people going on. I really want to get into that. I want to, if someone was to come to me and say, Arabia, we're going to hire you to drive in a van. We're going to give you these weapons, different guns, knives, machetes. We're going to give you bear traps. We're going to give you all kinds of things in this van. And we want you to build a team where you can go and find the cult leaders. Oh, yeah, we want you to get rid of all the cults. And while you at it, we want you to get rid of all the child abusers, all the people that want to sexually molest women and children. We want to hire you to do that. You know, I would be more than happy to do it. More than happy. Or, well, we're going to pay you $10,000 to get this done. Within 6 months, we want a certain amount of the population wiped out. I would be so happy, and I would build a team. I would build a team to do this. Because I want to get rid of the cults. I want to get rid of the child abusers. I want to get rid of the rapists. I want to get rid of the dirt that is plaguing American streets. If Donald Trump was to come in right now to my house and say, look, if I get voted in as being president, or it either could be Harris, and they say, well, we're going to give you $10,000 a month, and we're going to supply you a van, we're going to supply you with the weapons you're going to need, and we want you to wipe out every cult. We want you to wipe out all the child molesters, all the rapists that's on the streets. And we need you to do a certain quota within 6 months. Don't you know I would do it? Because of my childhood trauma. I want to get rid of these people I just mentioned. I want to get rid of the child molesters. I want to get rid of the people that want to beat up on women. I want to get rid of all these religious cults. And I would have my own little team. My own little team. Because I want to get rid of these people. The only way to kill American nightmare is to face the nightmare, to face the fear. When I go out of here early in the morning, to walk to the other office, I'm in fear that something might happen to me. But I know in the back of my mind, I'm carrying something in my pocket that if something do happen, I'm able to defend myself. Because this ain't no 9-year-old child. I'm able to defend my fucking self. And I wish there was a government program where they would institute people like myself to get rid of the people I hate the most. If you're in a cult, I hate you. If you're a child abuser, I hate you. If you're a rapist, I hate you. I want to see you out of here. And one thing I would ask is for a wood chipper to travel along with me. That's why I would need a van and another vehicle to carry a wood chipper. Because I wouldn't bury none of the people I killed. I would put them in a wood chipper. You want to rape women? You want to rape children? You want to beat on children and, traumatize them up? You want to be a cult leader? You want to be a part of a cult and not getting out? And you know what kind of danger you're in? I would round up all those people and put them in a wood chipper. And I wouldn't feel no way about it. Anybody that kills a child, I would want them dead. I would put them in a wood chipper. And I would love to hear their screams and the blood flowing everywhere. And at the end of the day, I would be able to sleep a full night of sleep. Shout to the chat. That's why I can't sleep, because I want to kill these people that are destroying the fabric of America. You are destroying our future when you rape a child, when you beat on a child. You are destroying the future of America. You are destroying the future of the whole world. Every child needs to be taught self-defense. Every child. I don't care which race you're part of. You need to be taught self-defense from the age of 2 years old all the way up. It needs to be mandatory in this country. And for those, they got something going on in Louisiana where they're castrating the sex offenders. What they need to do when they castrate, when they take your dick off, they need to dress it and prepare and make you eat your own dick. Let's cut your dick off and make you eat it. And you ain't getting no other food. You gonna eat your own dick. Since you want to rape and violate women and children with your dick, with your whatever you used to destroy these people, I would love to see that. I would love to see them castrate and make these people eat their own dicks, castrate their balls off their bodies. And the women too. You women, you go out there, you're sexually molesting children. I would like to see that happen to you too. I would like to see you eat your own thing, but you help destroy children. That's what I would like to see. Now shout out to the chat. I want the death of every child abuser. Everyone that sexually and physically and mentally and spiritually destroyed a child, I would love to put you in a wood chipper. Get rid of you. Because I'm tired and sick of you. I'm tired of these cults coming out here. Well, Sister Anna Young, she committed all the crimes. She was responsible for the death of 2 children. But didn't she have a lot of help? So like the way they got that woman that's in prison right now, the woman is in her 70s. Why don't they lock up the parents of these people? She's guilty. They're guilty. Because they beat them children too. They put them in the box. They didn't feed them. They didn't give them no water. People like Michelle Blair, if it was up to me, Michelle Blair, I would put her in a cell by herself, strip her down, no clothes, no nothing. She would get fed once a week, bread and water. That's it. And then I would make sure that they had the posters of the children posted in the cell that she's in. I would do that for 6 months. And if she's still alive, I will put the woman in a wood chipper. And I would love to hear her scream. The way your children scream when you beat on them and before you murdered them, ma'am. That's what I want to hear from you. Shout to the chat. Yeah, I'm going deep and I'm going dark. I'm going dark right now because I want to see certain things happen to certain people that needs to happen. I'm tired of the United States. Well, we got our own justice system. Your justice system is not working. That man that killed my family 13 years ago. I want to see him. I want to cut off his dick. I want to put it in his mouth. I want to tie him up. I want to suffocate him, and I want to put him in the wood chipper. I want to hear him scream. You killed my niece. You killed my 15-year-old niece. I want my fucking revenge. Now let me tell my story. I want my motherfucking revenge. I'm gonna get it one way or another. And may God, the universe, have mercy on America. Because in a few more months, some of you gonna make the terrible mistake of voting in these clowns for president. I'm gonna tell you right now, don't vote in Harris. Don't vote in Trump. These people are not for us. They are against us. Trump don't give a fuck about none of y'all. He don't. Harris, Vice President Harris, don't give a fuck about none of y'all. And I'm telling you what I know. I am your homegirl. Arabia Babosa 914, Worcester County, New York. I am speaking from my heart. And that's all I can speak from. I'll shout to the chat.